We are back. Welcome back to the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Bandy. With me, as always, is Trey. We got 18 years of combined fantasy football experience right here. What's up, Trey? How's it
What's
going, bud?
going on? What's going on?
Well,
Crazy weekend of football, man.
yeah.
Ties and overtimes and close games. I mean, it was exciting. It's first round of the playoffs. I barely clutched it by like 3 points. Thank God Daniel Jones didn't have an amazing game.
Who would have thought Daniel Jones would decide your future in the playoffs? Right? I love it. I loved it. I was sitting down, watching from afar on my bye week, and I guess it's going to be you and me next week, man.
I just want to say I went against Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Ramondre Stevenson. And still got the dub. So
With Miles Sanders scoring 4 points.
come flex with us.
Good job, buddy. Great job as usual. But guys, you know what time it is. It is time for some waiver wires. Let's check out what's on the wire. That's right. What's on the wire? We're talking about some playoff implication waiver wire ads for week 16. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I got some QBs for you. Starting off some QBs. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, 12% rostered in sleeper leagues. Went 17 of 26, 217 yards, got 2 touchdowns. He plays smart football. I mean, he is a game manager, but that's all Shanahan needs him to be. They've got pieces all around and playmakers for days. I'll tell you, this kid takes care of the ball, which I love. Okay, and he's pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think the Niners really have nothing to worry about with trying to make a playoff run with Brock Purdy. I mean, I don't see him, winning the Super Bowl, but crazier things have happened. But I think he's definitely, a playoff type quarterback. I mean, he's Jimmy G a couple years younger.
Yeah, for sure. Dude looks like he's 12.
Moving on to our next quarterback waiver wire ad, we have Derek Carr. He had 20 for 38, 231 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Carr finally has all his pieces with Waller back. They're going against the Steelers, who have had a decent defense, but I think the game's going to become a shootout. And if you're streaming quarterbacks in the playoffs, you could do a lot worse than Derek Carr.
For sure. He's 51% rostered, so there's a chance he's still there. Derek Carr scares me a little bit, but lately he's been doing pretty well, so I like to add Trey. Rolling to my next waiver wire ad at the QB position, Sam Darnold. I know, Sam Darnold. I mean, can you trust him? Probably not in a one quarterback league, but one quarterback leagues, you probably already got that sewed up. But with problems with Jalen Hurts in those 2 quarterback leagues, I know it's hard to find a possible quarterback to help you out. So Sam Darnold, 8% rostered out there. Last week, 225 yards and 1 touchdown. Another game manager here. Like I said, it's rough on the waiver. And honestly, I wouldn't trust Sam Darnold if I didn't have to. But if you need someone to fill in and get you just enough points to help you secure a victory, Sam Darnold could be your guy.
Yeah, it's almost like DJ Moore is so good that he gives Sam Darnold value, which normally it's the other way around with the quarterback and the wide receiver. But, I mean, as long as DJ Moore can catch the crazy passes from Sam Darnold, that connection is going to give him fantasy relevance.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm hoping for, honestly.
But moving on to our last quarterback waiver wire ad, and I know what you're thinking, Zach Wilson. Like, I hate this dude. But, hate him as I am, he had 18 for 317 yards and 2 touchdowns. With the game being Thursday, Mike White looks to still be sidelined with his rib injury. It's crazy to say start Zach Wilson, but the Jags defense isn't the best. And if he has another 300-yard game, what more can you ask out of a quarterback with what I believe to be one of the most sufficient teams around him. All they really need is a quarterback, and if he can get him the ball, they can put up numbers.
Yeah, like you said about DJ Moore and Sam Darnold, I feel like Garrett Wilson could be that guy to help Zach Wilson get over the hump. And he's only 14% rostered. That's because nobody wants Zach Wilson. But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And imagine if you beat somebody and you're like, got Zach Wilson on my roster. I love it, Trey. But let's go ahead and keep it moving, going to our running backs for week 16 in your fantasy playoffs. If you're still with us, I'm glad to hear it. Starting off, I have got Zach Moss. Look, Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he's done for the season. High ankle sprain. We know how that goes. We've been seeing a lot of that this year. Zach Moss is 4% rostered in sleeper leagues. He went 24 carries for 81 yards, which isn't phenomenal, but he outtouched Deion Jackson, which, you know, I was surprised about. But Jeff Saturday likes that downhill, tough, rough runner, and I think Zach Moss could be that for you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a split backfield. But this team, you know, I mean, after that devastating loss, like, they're going to run the ball as much as they can at this point, I feel like. And Zach Moss is going to get points. You know, I think he's more of a flex option, but he's definitely out there, and he's definitely worth looking at.
Yeah, how about them just putting like a 30 burger on the Vikings also? I mean, that was wild, just that with that, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. And then to lose the game was just insane.
Yeah, poor Matt Ryan, huh?
Yeah, we'll talk about him later. Jumping to our next running back waiver wire ad, we got Tyler Algier for Atlanta. He's only 39% rostered. He had 17 rushes, 139 yards, and 1 touchdown. And with Desmond Ridder taking over the team, they're kind of forced to focus on the run game. Algier having the best game of his season and just running angrily, breaking tackles left and right. He's going against a Raven team that really just can't get it together on offense. And he should get even more touches in this game. And I'm betting he busts 100 yards again with, you know, the team kind of losing playoff implications. They're trying to get their rookies and see what they can do. And Tyler Algier is going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming with Tyler Algier. I mean, I don't think I would have started him if I had him, but I mean, dude killed it. And like you said, I believe that is true, that they are just like, all right, maybe we're not going to make the playoffs this year. And if we did, it wouldn't be very deep. So why don't we go ahead and get them reps for those rookies and guys that are going to help us be a better team next year?
No doubt.
But let's go ahead and roll to the next dude, and it's Royce Freeman. I know. Here we go again. You know, a lot of rough calls on this list this week, but you know, times are tough in the waiver wire streets. He's 0% rostered, 11 carries for 51 yards last week. Look, no one's excited about this. No one's excited about the Texans' backfield. Honestly, I think this is a deeper league play, and the main thing is that Royce Freeman won't lay you a goose egg next week.
Yeah, definitely. If you're struggling and you can't find anybody out there, especially in deeper leagues, I mean, Royce Freeman is worth a shot. The Texans, you know, as bad as they are, they always put up a good fight, or they have recently for sure, which could bring fantasy value for your team.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our last running back waiver wire ad, it's Marlon Mack for Denver. He's 11% rostered. He had 5 carries for 37 yards, which isn't a lot, but he got a touchdown. And he also had 4 receptions for 26 yards. He averaged 6.5 yards per carry, and he has 140 yards and 2 touchdowns over the last 2 games. They're going against a Rams team that is just trying to make it to the postseason. And regardless of the quarterback, this team wins on the ground.
Yeah, it just seems like the run game is starting to pick up over there. I mean, Latavius Murray, who had Latavius Murray rushing for all those yards and stuff like that? Not me. I would have sat Latavius Murray last week. The two-headed monster in Denver, and it looks like running the ball is the only thing that they can do effectively besides defense. So I love the ad, Trey. Love it.
No doubt.
But before we get to the wide receivers, let's go to Manscaped with a quick word from our sponsor. It's never too early to play holiday music. And it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friend in your pants, make this a season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then, add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Now Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com. Use code SUPERFLEX20 for 20% off and free shipping. Holy crap, that's a good deal. We'll see you there. That's right, Manscaped, guys. Great things going on over there. Guys, check out our promo code up there, man. You're missing out if you don't. I promise you, they got great products. And just like us, they are here to help you out.
No doubt, no doubt.
Let's go ahead and move to the wide receivers tray. Starting off on our list, Week 16, playoff implications on the line. The first wide receiver I got is Marquise Goodwin, baby. 6% rostered. Look, Tyler Lockett broke his finger. He's going to miss at least one game. Goodwin has shown that he can actually produce even as the third wide receiver here. So imagine him and DK Metcalf up there doing big things. I think he's a great streaming option for this week. And I think you'd be missing out if you didn't at least grab him up.
Yeah, with Tyler Lockett out, I think a lot of teams are going to be double teaming DK Metcalf, and I really think that's going to open up Goodwin for a lot of opportunities. He's shown spurts of greatness, and we'll have to see what he can really do when he takes the second row.
Yeah, and a backflip at the end of every game that they win. I love it.
But jumping to our next wide receiver waiver wire ad, and this dude's been pretty consistent a couple weeks in a row. We just haven't really added him on here because it's just been a little low. But it's Matt Collins. He's only 32% rostered. He had 4 receptions, 8 targets for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. He's taken over as the wide receiver 2, with Renfro only getting 3 targets in this game. He's not going to win you the playoffs, but if you're hurt at wide receiver, he will almost guarantee you double digits. And if that's what you're looking for, get you some Matt Collins.
Yeah, especially in PPR formats. That seems to be their specialty over there. Devontae gets the big yards while Mac just grabs those few yards and gets lots of targets. I like it. But let's move to my next guy. It's Rashid Shaheed over in New Orleans. 2% rostered. Look, this guy, 4 catches, 95 yards, 1 touchdown last week. A 21% target share, believe it or not. And he's a playmaker. It's plain and simple. When he gets the ball in his hands, he does big things. He's tied for second in targets with Chris Olave. This guy is electric, Trey.
Yeah, and it's scary because of the way New Orleans kind of just they don't have any specific person that they're giving the ball to. It could be somebody different every week. But I like the way this dude is. He passes the eye test. He's out there on the field, and he's getting targets. So grab him up.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to our last wide receiver waiver wire ad, we have Noah Brown for Dallas. He's 7% rostered. He had 6 receptions, 9 targets, 49 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He led the team in targets, just so you know. He surpassed Gallup in targets by far. Kind of looked to take over that role there. And he has 15 looks over the past 2 games, with emphasis on red zone looks. And I feel like he'll be a boom-bust flex option against a tough Eagles defense next week. But, dude's getting red zone looks. I like him.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It seems like Dak really produces for you when Noah Brown is getting targets. So I love the ad of Noah Brown there, and I'll pair him up with a Dak Prescott for double your fun. But before we move to the tight ends here, I just would be remiss if I didn't mention Jahan Dotson over on the Commanders. This dude is electric. I love me some Jahan Dotson. If he's there, I might grab him up as well. They're starting to see what he's got over there, and starting to be very apparent. He's looking like better than Curtis Samuel on that team, Trey.
Yeah, I feel like if he didn't get hurt and miss a couple games, he'd be in the running for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion.
Definitely. He's electric, bro. Another one that passes the eye test for sure. But let's go ahead and get to some tight ends here, Trey. Look at that right there at the top of the list. Welcome back, Taysom Hill. Look, Taysom Hill last week, I got to talk to you about this. 2 passes for 80 yards, 7 carries for 30 yards, 37% rostered in sleeper leagues. I mean, it's Taysom Hill. I mean, tight end is so bland this year. Taysom Hill has huge upside, but he can lay a goose egg at any moment. But like I said, the way tight end is, what you're missing out on, 4 points that your tight end was going to get you anyway. Hopefully, get you some Taysom Hill, man.
Yeah, and and I like Taysom Hill as almost like I say we call him the Inspector Gadget, but it's like a gadget play. Like if you're in the playoffs, but you've got some injuries and you're projected to lose by quite a bit, your teammates got Justin Jefferson and all these people you're going against. Throw some Taysom Hill in there, because the ability for him to win you your week and go off is there. And if he gets 0, you were already probably going to lose anyway. So what's the risk?
Yeah, and the last 2 weeks he has performed, so I think that's something that's worth adding.
No doubt, no doubt. But moving on to our next tight end waiver wire ad, someone a little more level-headed and a little more middle ground, but it's Dawson Knox, baby. He had 6 receptions, 8 targets, 98 yards, and a touchdown. For having a fairly subpar year, like kind of a nightmare year, to be honest, he looks to be a very solid tight end 1 for anyone in the playoffs streaming at tight end. I mean, him and Allen's have really been connecting in the last couple of games, and it's starting to look like he's really going to be a big player on the team.
Yeah, I love Dawson Knox. I actually drafted him in one of my other leagues because I really thought he was going to blow up this year. He's been up and down, but as of lately, he's been more up than down, and I like that a lot. Let's roll to the next guy. Speaking of being up and down, Noah Fant. Look, 25% rostered in most leagues, 5 catches, 32 yards, 1 touchdown. But he's very tight. He's very touchdown dependent, very spotty fantasy production. He's a risky start, but aren't all tight ends this year?
No doubt, no doubt. Noah Fant, he's really had some great games here recently. They're finally kind of getting him worked into the offense. And like I say, the tight end place is so rough. I mean, I was just looking across the board in the playoffs, and it was like every person that started a tight end, it was 4 points, 3 points, 1 point, 5 points. I mean, you're really just going with who you think's going to get the touchdown, and it's tough to call, but almost any of these people would just be easy to throw out there.
Yeah, and I think moving forward, tight end premium should be something that starts, taking off a lot, Trey.
For sure. Moving on to our last tight end waiver wire ad. Crazy, we got 2 tight ends on the same team, even though Taysom Hill's really not a tight end, but whatever. It's Juwan Johnson. I mean, he had 4 receptions, 6 targets, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has 7 touchdowns on the year. He's really a desperation play at tight end, but he has massive red zone upside. And, I mean, this dude gets touchdowns.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson disappointed me the one time I needed him to, but, I mean, apparently if I'm not starting him, he is a good call there, Trey. But let's go ahead and get to the fun part, and that is our top defense/kicker waiver wire ads for Week 16 with fantasy implications. Defense, I think, is good, and this may come as a surprise to some of y'all, but I got the Detroit Lions. Hear me out here. Listen, they're only 3% rostered in all the leagues, so they're there on the wire. They have actually been very consistent the last 6 to 7 weeks as far as defenses go. And the next 2 matchups for the fantasy playoffs are Carolina and Chicago. The Lions are stepping it up, and I think they can help you, Trey.
Yeah, man, it's crazy to see, but I looked at the numbers, and the Lions are putting up points on defense, man. So I think it's a great ad. My defensive ad this week is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I know, they've had a couple rough games, but their defense has really been solid. They're going against Colt McCoy and the Cardinals, maybe even Trace McSorley, who just lost to the Broncos, one of the poorest teams in the NFL. It's kind of enough said.
Enough said, indeed. They will definitely get to the quarterback, so I think that's a great add, and they got just a great schedule moving forward here for the playoffs. Let's go to a couple kickers, Trey. A kicker I think that you need to keep your eyeballs on is Eddie Pinheiro. He's only 2% rostered in sleeper leagues. Here was his kicks this week: 29 yards, 32 yards, 52 yards, and 1 extra point. He has been spot on lately. I know we had a rough patch in the middle of the year, but he's been almost perfect ever since.
Yeah, Eddie Pinheiro can nail those field goals. Try to do something with it.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Yeah.
Moving on to my kicker ad for the week. It's Nick Folk, baby. Surprisingly, if you guys didn't know, Nick Folk leads the league in field goals made this year. He made 3 this past weekend, and this offense looks atrocious. They struggle in the red zone. Therefore, they need Folk to keep doing what he's doing. So I like Nick Folk.
Yeah, I mean, I love Nick Folk, and surprisingly, only 19% roster. That's just very surprising to me. Nick Folk is a really great kicker. I know he's had a couple down games, but when he goes off, Trey.
No doubt.
But that is our waiver wire ads for week 16. Guys, if you have a question, comment, anything, put it in the comments section down below of some waiver ads. Somebody you think might do better over somebody else, just let us know, guys. Or as always, you can send an email to fourthandflex@gmail.com. And I might add, we are always on Patreon. Join our Patreon, guys. Great stuff going on over there. And as always, you're always entered into all of the giveaways that we get, depending on your tier level. It depends on how many entries you get. And one of the tiers is 25 entries, bro. Get in there. You're almost guaranteed to win something, Trey.
Tell them what we're giving away Friday, Bandy.
Ooh, okay. I will. We're giving away a Manscaped performance package valued at $130 live on our Starts and Sits show. Guys, all you got to do is be there. Be there, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to put your name on the wheel of destiny, and we're going to see who's going to get it, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. But let's go ahead and move on to the GAG bag, Trey. The GAG bag players we are done with, we are tired of messing with, and we just don't need that drama in our life, Trey. Who do you got?
Starting off at the top of my GAG bag, give me Curtis Samuel. There it is, man. With Jahan Dotson, really picking up speed and everything like that, Curtis Samuel's looking more like a running back 3 for this team. I mean, he really hasn't got a lot of catches. He's just getting a couple rushes here and there, and it's not fantasy relevant. I mean, I'm not using him in the playoffs going forward whatsoever.
That's right. Curtis Samuel thrown in the GAG bag. Next guy I got going in the GAG bag, and this will not come as a surprise to anyone, is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, bro, I trusted you. I drafted you number 1, and then despite you being my number 1 draft pick, I still managed to make the playoffs and get through the first round. So no thanks to you, Jonathan Taylor. Throw him in the GAG bag. I'm done, Trey.
Yeah, man, I understand completely. My next GAG bag candidate, it's sad to say, man, because this dude really had some pace not that long ago, but he's just getting pushed out, and that's Deonta Foreman. I mean, Chuba Hubbard is really taking over, which, we've talked about that before, but, I mean, this dude is he's not doing it for you, and if you started him, you probably lost.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Chuba Hubbard is the more electric back there, so I get it. Deonta Foreman. Throw him in the GAG bag. Another GAG bag candidate I've got is Robert Tonyan. I know tight end position is rough this year, but it seems like Aaron Rodgers, like you said, Trey, has forgotten about his favorite tight end, and I just am done stressing about it. I'm done speculating on whether or not this is the game that Robert Tonyan goes off, Trey.
Yeah, Robert Tonyan, throw him in the GAG bag. My last gag bag player, and it really isn't a lot to do with fantasy, but you probably weren't starting this guy anyway. It's Matt Ryan. I mean, the dude needs to retire, okay? He holds some of the worst records you can hold in the NFL, and on 2 different teams, he's got the biggest upset comeback. I mean, it's insane. You gotta let him go, man. Matt Ryan, just you made your money, go home, sit on the. I bet he can become an announcer and do great. But he's just too old.
Yeah, I think he would actually be really good. I bet he sees the game well, just not well enough to be great at fantasy. Matt Ryan, throw him in the gag bag. Sorry about your luck, buddy. Sorry about your luck indeed. But that is it for the gag bag. It is time for everyone's favorite game, Trivia with Trea.
That's right. Trivia with Trea. We're coming in hot. We got some heaters for Bandy. We'll see if he can pull them off today. Number 1 we got. You ready?
Let's do this thing.
Who was the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft?
First pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. I know this. I freaking know this. 2020. I was watching that draft.
So he's been in the league for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
This is his 3rd year in the league.
So
offensive player.
It's a quarterback, right?
It is.
Okay. It's not it's not Trevor Lawrence, is it?
No, that was 2 years
Okay, hang on then. All right. Is he a starter right now?
He is.
Oh yeah.
You watched
Joe
him play
Burrow. Last night. Joe Burrow?
Yeah. Joe Burrow versus the Bucks.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, baby.
Yeah, so Joe Burrow, baby, first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft.
I see what you did there. I know what you did there.
I got to take subtle shots.
Got him! Got him!
But we keep it rolling to the next question. This one's a little bit harder, but I'm interested to see if you know this one, okay? Which NFL team uses the slogan, "Keep pounding"?
Jaguars.
That is incorrect.
Hang on. Keep pounding? That's the Panthers. I'm sorry.
There you go, baby. Pull out the drum. Keep pounding.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was close.
Surprised you got that.
Yeah, no, man. I got this. What's
All
up?
right, we can't do trivia with Trea without a Brady question. So here it is, and it's a big one.
Uh-oh.
Can you name every team Brady has beat in the Super Bowl? There are 6.
All right. I've got the Chiefs.
That's 1.
Definitely hasn't beat the Giants. The Panthers.
That's 2.
The Rams.
He beat the Rams twice. That's 3.
Well, that's 3, 4, right?
No, 3. 3 more teams.
Okay, yeah. I try to get something on that. All right, 3 more teams. Rams. That Panthers. He beat the Eagles.
There you go. 2 more.
Damn, 2 more.
What do you like to send me a video of all the time?
He beat the Seahawks.
There you go. Last one.
1 more.
We just talked about it, actually. Kind of in reference.
Oh, like on the show or?
Yeah.
The Falcons.
There it is, baby. Matt Ryan with the losing that game, man. So yeah, that's all 6. Great job.
Woo! Yeah, buddy. I know my Brady. Perfect.
I wouldn't have been able to guess that at all. I was gonna say because the last 3 you had were all birds, but I was like, if I give him that, it's gonna be pretty bam, bam, bam.
No, I'm glad you didn't. I got there, but with your hints, which I appreciate more than you know, buddy.
Gotta help you out a little bit sometimes.
Sounds good. But that is it for Trivia with Trea. It's time for everybody's second favorite time, and it's Thursday Night Football. Starts and sits. This week, we got the Jaguars versus the Jets.
Yes, sir. Over under for this game is 43 points. Vegas has the Jets winning by 1. I actually do like that. I think the Jets can keep the victory. I think their defense is strong enough to get a couple picks on Trevor Lawrence and that they end up getting the dub here.
I'm going Jaguars, bro. The Jaguars have been on fire. Trevor Lawrence is starting to figure out the NFL, and he's got a good coach, Doug Peterson, the quarterback whisperer, right there to show him how it's done. Jaguars take the W, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's going to be very close, but I think the Jets pull it off in the end.
Sounds good, but why don't we go ahead and jump into some Jets starts here, Trey? Bam Knight is questionable. He might play, he might not. If he doesn't play, I love starting Michael Carter in this matchup. The Jags, you can run on them and you can throw on them. So that I'm starting Garrett Wilson up. I mean, if Bam Knight plays, what do you feel about starting both of these running backs, Trey?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Carter barely did anything this past week, but Bam didn't put up a whole lot of points either. I think if Bam plays, you go Bam, and if he doesn't, I think Michael Carter's worth, but both of them are just flex worthy. They're nothing more than that.
And I think Zach Wilson can get you 24 points, maybe, like we talked about, which is above the start point differential that we like to go by, but it's risky. It's risky. And Elijah Moore, it's playoffs. I just can't do it, Trey. I can't do it.
Yeah, I was glad he got 5 or 6 targets from Zach Wilson, but it's just you can't do it in the playoffs, man.
Yep. And that's all I got for them.
All right, so let's jump to our Jaguars starts. And this is a lot simpler, a lot easier. I mean, it's pretty busted off. We got Trevor Lawrence, baby. We got Zay Jones because he's been a menace. We got Christian Kirk. He's still doing enough to be relevant. Travis Etienne, I mean, he's putting numbers up. You got to get him out there. And Evan Ingram, I mean, he didn't have the 40-point week that he did a couple weeks ago, but I mean, he still was very relevant, especially for tight ends. I guarantee you, he was top 10 with 11 points on the week. So you got to start him up.
Yeah, you're probably right. I need to check that about Evan Ingram, but I guarantee you're probably right in the wheelhouse there. Evan Ingram, I got him. I got Goddard coming back. I'm almost like, where do I go with this one, Trey? But I can't ask you because I'm doing it to you. So I like your starts there, Trey. Good stuff.
No doubt.
But yeah, that's it. That's all we got this week, Trey. Great show. Guys, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because, guys, this Aaron Jones jersey's got to go to somebody. Why can't it be you guys? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, do all the things that we love for you to do, and you could be a winner. And guys, don't forget to check out our Patreon. Big things going on over there. We're going to help you with your lineups, questions, all that good stuff.
But and remember, we're giving away that Manscaped package next Friday. So if you're watching this video right now, hit the notification bell because you're going to want to be there to comment and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe now while you're watching so you don't even have to worry about it. You can be involved in the conversation. We'll put your comments up there. We'll talk about all your starts and sits and get everything going. And you'll be on the wheel, so you could win.
That's right. That's right. The Wheel of Destiny could be your destiny next Friday coming up. Be there, guys. Put the notification bell on like Trey said, and you will be involved. Guys, real quick before we go, I want to give a shout out to my boy Bayoubengalfn. Bayoubengalfn over there, man. He's doing big things with his channel. He is on a weight loss journey. He wants to help people, and I mean that takes courage, bro. And I love that. Guys, go check out Bayoubengalfn. I'll put a link down in the description of this video. Love that dude, Trey.
No doubt, man. Yeah, he was awesome when he came on the podcast. We need to get him back on again.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace.
Oh, I'm getting it going, buddy. Don't you worry. Got that. I'm just
I
doing a
suck the
couple
dog.
things. Pardon? You something else, boy. You something else, boy.